Hey friends, welcome back to your Week 11 NFL picks for this 2025 NFL football season. Last week we went 8-5 straight up. Against the spread, we were abysmal. We just got chopped up by a whole bunch of different games that did not go our way. One of those was the Bills in Miami, my team. And that was really a disaster for a lot of folks that probably had a lot of money riding on Buffalo. But again, no gambling here. This is all for entertainment purposes only. We don't do any gambling here. Just like to highlight, what happens after the fact with the sports and the gambling and all of that. And this is assuming all these picks that I'm about to make are all assuming that there is no funny business going on between the gamblers and the powers that be and the referees and things like that. So we're going to assume that that's not really going on, right? And that those phantom pass interference calls, they're not really as bad as they may appear initially, right? Right. So let's jump into it. Thursday night brings us the Jets flying up into New England to take on the Patriots. Patriots are favored by 12.5 in this one. Jets are 2-7 this season. Again, just an abomination. New England, a very surprising 8-2. Drake May really being the hero up there near Boston, there in Foxborough. I like New England at home on this stage Thursday night, prime time, but I don't know about that 12.5 point spread. That really scares me. Especially since the Jets, now that they've gotten rid of Sauce Gardner, last week they kind of came together, and we'll see about this week. I don't think the Patriots will cover 43.5 on the over-under. I think this will stay under on that over-under. And then Sunday's games bring us my Miami Dolphins hosting Washington in Madrid, Spain, for some reason. The NFL is just doing a money grab over there. They really want to expand to international markets, and this is one of the ways they're doing it, is by promoting the teams that already exist here over there. So here we go. Washington is a 2.5 point underdog in this neutral site game in Spain. Miami, if Miami hadn't done what they did to Buffalo last week, I would be picking the Washingtons here. However, we'll see what happens. I think Miami. I think Miami will win. I think they will cover under 47.5. I think this is going to stay under. I don't know why that's a pretty high over under between these two teams, but we'll see what happens come Sunday. But I think it'll stay under. And then Cincinnati at Pittsburgh in an AFC North tilt. Cincinnati is a 6.5 point road dog in this one. Over under 48.5. So they're expecting a little bit of scoring in this one as well. Pittsburgh, I like Pittsburgh at home. AFC North Division games, throw out the rules. Always just throw them all out. 6.5 seems really, really high. Joe Burrow came out and said that this week that anyone could win that division. Bear in mind that right now the Bengals are 3-6, so very bold words for the quarterback of the Kittens there. I think Pittsburgh will win this game at home, but I don't think they'll cover. I could easily see this being a 3-point win for the Steel Town folks. 48.5 on the over-under. I think this will stay under. I don't see this becoming a big score fest. The Chargers. Every time I see LAC, I always think Los Angeles Clippers, right? LAC. No, it's the Chargers traveling down I-10 to its eastern terminus, right? Down in Jacksonville. So Jacksonville is a 2.5 point home dog in this one. Chargers are favored by 2.5, over under 43.5. I'm inclined to take the Chargers here on the road. I think they'll win. I think they will cover. And I think this could go over. I think this could be a little bit of a score fest here in Jacksonville there in northern Florida. This next one brings me a little bit of pause here in this is in New York, but another Florida team involved. The Buccaneers traveling up to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored in this one by 5.5. I think that the Bills will win. I think they will cover. I think they'll certainly correct the wrongs from last week against the Dolphins. Being back at home in front of that raucous crowd, I believe they will win. I think they will cover. Over under 48.5. I could see this going over, honestly. I could see this definitely being like a high-scoring affair between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. Chicago at Minnesota in an NFC North tilt. Chicago and 3.5 point underdog in this one. This line scares me. I think Minnesota will win. I could see this being a 3-point victory though, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they will cover this 3.5 point spread. We'll see how that goes. 48.5 on the over and under. I'm inclined to take the under on this NFC North battle. And then we have Houston at Tennessee in an AFC South battle. Houston, a 6.5 point road favorite in this one in Nashville. Tennessee is 1-8 on the season here. That lone win coming against Arizona when Arizona just completely collapsed. 38.5 on the over-under. I like Houston on the road. I think they will win. I think they will cover. However, I think we'll go over on this over-under. 38.5 is very tempting. I could see this being Tennessee doesn't have a defense, so I could see this being a real score fest for the Houston Texans here. Carolina at Atlanta, a lot of divisional games this weekend, including this one. Carolina on the road. The Kittens are 3.5-point underdogs in Atlanta, facing off against the Falcons. I like Atlanta at home, but that 3.5 points, again, the sports books, they know what they're doing with these lines, right? I think this could be another 3-point victory. I'm going to say Atlanta will win, but I do not think they will cover. Over under 42.5. I actually think this might go a little over. I think these two teams could actually put some points up on the board there in Atlanta. And then Green Bay, the GBs travel to New York to take on, correction, they're going to New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. GBs are favored by 7.5. Again, another scary line. I could see this one being a win by 7 points. But I'm going to take the GBs. I think that they will win. I think they will cover. Over under 43.5. I'm inclined to go with the over on this one. I think there could be a little bit of scoring in this affair. Considering that Green Bay didn't really score a whole ton on Monday night against the Eagles, this defense is not the Eagles' defense. So I think that Green Bay will make up for some lost scoring on Monday night. And that brings us to the late games here on Sunday. Seattle at the Rams. Seattle is a 3.5-point road dog in this one. Another divisional game, NFC West in this one. I like the Rams at home. I think they'll win. That line scares me again. A lot of 3.5-point lines this week, especially in these division games, right? I like the Rams at home. I do not think they will cover. I think this could easily be a 3-point victory on the part of the home team. Over under 48.5. Ordinarily, I would say under. I'm going to go over. I think that both teams are very capable of scoring against one another. I think this will go over on that over-under. San Fran at Arizona. San Fran's a 2.5-point road favorite in this one. My only question about that is why isn't it higher? I would think that San Fran should have no problem even in Arizona, despite the fact that they're in Phoenix or just outside Phoenix. San Fran, 2.5 points. I like them. I think they'll win. I think they will cover. Over under 49.5. I'm inclined to go with the under on that one. Even though this is an NFC West battle, I don't think San Fran's going to need a whole bunch of points to win this one. And then we've got Baltimore at Cleveland in an AFC North tilt. Baltimore is favored by 8.5 in this one on the road in Cleveland in the late window. This scares me. This really scares me. I like Baltimore. I think they'll win, but I do not think they will cover. 8.5 seems like a high, very high winning margin, if you will. 39.5 on the over-under here. I think it might go over. I think Baltimore might actually have a pretty good easy day on the field, up and down the field with Lamar Jackson. KC at Denver. This is going to be my upset pick for the week. KC is favored by 3.5 in this one on the road in the Mile High City. Now, KC, they are 5-4. People say that they're back, that they're on the comeback trail, and they're going to regain their former glory. Denver. Denver is 8-2. I think Denver will win this outright. I think Denver's got a lot of things going well for them. Sean Payton seems to have them clicking on all cylinders right now. I like Denver. I think that they will win, and I think that they will win outright. Over under 44.5. I could see this going over in this AFC West affair here. And then that brings us to Sunday night here, Detroit at Philly. This is a very interesting game, very, very intriguing second week in a row that Philly will be in prime time window there. I like Philly at home. 2.5 I think is safe. I could see them winning by 3 against the Kittens. I'll take Philly at home. I think they'll win. I think they'll cover. Over under 46.5. I could see this going over. I could see this being a kind of a score fest there in Philly. Definitely a potential NFC championship game preview, perhaps. We'll see. Monday night brings us Dallas here down the road in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Raiders are 3.5-point home dogs in this one. Now, if this was being held on a Sunday afternoon, I would be inclined to say Dallas will win and they will cover. However, this being on the national stage nationwide on Monday night, I'm inclined to take the Cowboys, but I don't think they'll cover. Over under 50.5. I think it'll stay under on that over under. Like and subscribe. Always remember, for entertainment purposes only, and we'll see you next week, you guys.